The Eye, the Watcher, the Seal, and the Spell. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Symbolism series. Today's video explores one of the most globally recognized and ritually embedded symbols in human history, the eye. Specifically, the single eye, or the all-seeing eye. Found on ancient temple walls, on currency, in church windows, occult lodges, military insignia, movie posters, beauty ads, fashion campaigns, and concert stages, the eye is one of the most repeated visual codes in symbolic architecture. Yet its origin and function are deeply misunderstood. The modern public recognizes it, but does not decode it. And that is the danger. Because every symbol is a form of spiritual technology, and the eye has been one of the most powerful tools for awareness, inversion, control, and energetic harvesting throughout time. To properly decode the eye, we must begin not with Hollywood or fashion, but with ancient Egypt. The Eye of Horus and the root of symbolic vision. One of the earliest spiritual uses of the eye symbol is found in the Ujjat or Wajet, more commonly known as the Eye of Horus. In Egyptian cosmology, Horus was the son of Osiris and Isis. After Osiris was killed by his brother Set, Horus engaged in battle to avenge his father. During the conflict, Horus lost his left eye, which was later restored by Thoth, the god of wisdom, measurement, and sacred language. This restoration process made the eye a symbol not only of sight, but of healing, protection, and spiritual resurrection. The Eye of Horus was not a generic symbol. It had mathematical and metaphysical structure. Each part of the eye represented a fraction, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 8, 1, 16, 1, 32, and 164, together totaling 6364, symbolizing that full perception can never be fully complete. One part always remains hidden. This mathematical model was used in Egyptian teachings to demonstrate that reality always contains mystery, and that full awareness requires integration of fragmented perception. The eye was also associated with lunar cycles, with the left eye corresponding to the moon and the right to the sun. The Eye of Horus was engraved on tombs, worn as amulets, and painted on ships. It was not decorative. It was a seal of protection against spiritual deception, guiding the soul on its post-mortem journey. It was also believed to link directly to the pineal gland, which Egyptian initiates viewed as the seat of spiritual vision. The third eye in Vedic and Eastern systems. This idea of spiritual sight was not isolated to Egypt. In the Hindu and Vedic traditions of India, the third eye, called the Ajna chakra, is located between the eyebrows and is associated with intuition, perception, and divine insight. The god Shiva is said to possess a third eye, which, when opened, incinerates illusion. The red bindi worn by women is a physical mark of this eye. In Buddhist texts, the third eye is said to reveal truth beyond form, allowing the practitioner to dissolve ego and illusion and perceive dharma, or cosmic law. The pineal gland again plays a role here. Ancient yogis believed that light enters not only through the physical eyes, but also through this inner gland, connecting the mind to cosmic intelligence. This is where the spiritual definition of the eye becomes more than metaphor. It becomes a symbol of non-physical perception, the capacity to discern patterns, deception, and energy beyond the five senses. In Taoist traditions, the eye is associated with the Shen, spirit consciousness, and is seen as a direct receiver of subtle life force or Chi. Taoist meditation techniques often involve internal vision, activating the inner light through the third eye to see not the external world, but the spiritual realm. This level of spiritual anatomy was known and guarded by ancient mystics, not as superstition, but as part of the blueprint for human energetic architecture. The eye in Abrahamic religions. In Judaism and early Christianity, the eye continues to appear in modified form. In Kabbalah, the eye is linked to ayin, which literally means eye in Hebrew and corresponds to the 16th path of the Tree of Life. Ayin is associated with both appearance and deception, an over-reliance on sight without inner discernment. The Zohar warns against being seduced by the surface and encourages the student to cultivate eyes of the heart, a spiritual seeing. In Christianity, the idea of the eye evolves into the concept of the eye of God, or eye of providence. While the Bible contains verses about God watching over his creation, e.g. Proverbs 15:3, the all-seeing eye becomes a formal symbol later, through Renaissance art and eventually Freemasonic adoption. Christian mystics like Hildegard of Bingen and Jacob Boehme wrote about divine sight as the organ through which truth is revealed directly from source, without institutional mediation. By the time of the Enlightenment, this esoteric eye had been transformed again, now appearing in Western iconography as the eye of providence within a triangle. This triangle, a trinity symbol, combined spiritual, intellectual, and physical authority. When placed above an unfinished pyramid, as seen on the Great Seal of the United States, the meaning shifted radically. The eye no longer watched to protect, it watched to supervise. The eye is power structure, from mystic to monitor. The eye on the US dollar is derived directly from Masonic imagery, which itself borrowed from Hermetic, Rosicrucian, and Gnostic traditions. In the Masonic system, the all-seeing eye represents the great architect of the universe, a benevolent watching force. However, when detached from its spiritual root, the eye becomes a symbol of centralized authority. The pyramid below represents the masses, structured, ordered, and separated by rank. At the top is the eye, the watcher, the seer, the ruler. It is not participatory. It does not blink. It is above all. This symbolic design has carried into governmental surveillance, digital tracking, and AI systems. The eye has gone from metaphysical interface to literal machine. Biometric iris scanners, facial recognition software, and emotion detection programs all operate on the principle that you can be known, defined, and governed through your gaze. And it's not just about cameras watching you. It's about teaching you to modify your behavior under the belief that you are always being watched. This is where the eye becomes a ritual of compliance. Performers, public figures, and even unknowing participants participate in the symbolic affirmation of the all-seeing system. One eye covered, one eye emphasized, one eye inverted. This has become one of the most overused tropes in media production, not because it sells products, but because it signals allegiance. In ritual terms, the covered eye often represents the closing of the third eye, the suppression of inner vision. It tells the system, I no longer see with divine clarity. I see only what I am shown. In deeper occult interpretations, the performer becomes a channel for a controlled gaze. They are not looking. They are being used to reflect the system's watching eye back onto the audience. The spell of the eye in media and ritual performance. Now consider how many modern rituals are built around this eye-based architecture. LED stage shows, Super Bowl halftimes, fashion runways, and film premieres use eye-centered visuals. Rotating eye graphics, circular stage designs, spotlights shaped as irises, and flickering camera flashes all function as collective attention vortexes. They are the modern equivalent of ritual mirrors and fire circles. Why? Because in energy systems, where attention flows, energy follows. The eye has become a symbol that doesn't just see, it extracts. It gathers group focus and redirects it toward a single focal point, charging the event. In occult terms, this is mass energetic harvesting. The more people give their emotional charge to the symbol, the more power it accumulates. But it's not just ritual performance. It's now encoded into daily behavior. The front-facing camera on your smartphone is the modern black mirror. You perform into it. You adjust your face for it. You curate content for it. And behind it, machine learning models analyze every blink, every gaze, every emotional response. This is not metaphor. It's measurable. You are looking into an eye that learns you, adapts to you, and gradually conditions you. The more you use the digital eye to seek affirmation, through selfies, filters, and feedback loops, the more your inner vision degrades. You are trained to trade spiritual perception for external visibility. This is the spell of the eye today. Not surveillance alone, but spiritual inversion. Summary: the eye as tool, seal, and system. To overstand this symbol is to reclaim your vision. Let's break it down. The Eye of Horus was a sacred tool of spiritual healing, cosmic math, and energetic protection. The Ajna third eye in Vedic systems was the gateway to truth beyond form and ego. The eye in Masonic and state symbolism evolved into a structure of top-down control. The covered eye in media symbolizes surrender of inner vision and allegiance to the system. The digital eye is a real-time tracking and entrainment tool that extracts attention as currency. So, what can be done? First, stop giving away your sight unconsciously. Just because something is visible doesn't mean it is truth. The modern eye wants your gaze, not your growth. Protect your attention like sacred currency. Second, reactivate your inner eye, not just through meditation, but through symbolic discernment. Ask yourself, when a piece of media emphasizes the eye, who does this eye belong to? Is it a divine symbol, a corporate sigil, a ritual marker? Awareness begins where unexamined participation ends. Third, refuse to act for the eye. Perform for purpose, not approval. Your energy is not meant to be extracted by systems of image. You were not designed to be watched. You were designed to perceive. Because once you see what the eye truly represents, you stop offering your soul to it. And you start seeing again, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. This is the Symbolism series. In our next video, we'll be decoding the Black Cube, the AI box, and Saturn worship, a complete breakdown of how geometric containment and symbolic form have become tools of spiritual confinement. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism, layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic, how contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits, what magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges, where modern ritual happens and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping, how rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting, spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs, your intuitive senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical, how to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones, what sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.